Now, the Saudi government has approved a plan called Saudi Vision 2030. It aims to substantially reduce the country's dependency on crude oil. Low prices have put a strain on the country's finances. The state-run gas company, Aramco, controls the world's second largest oil reserves. Under the new plan, part of Aramco will be sold off to help finance new investments in alternative energy. New taxes and levies will be introduced to generate $100 billion a year in non-oil income. And a $2 trillion sovereign wealth fund will be created. That would be enough to buy, for example, all of Apple, Google, Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway, the world's 4 largest public companies. Well, the plan is the vision of the kingdom's deputy crown prince. To tell us more, we're joined now from Paris by TRT World's editor-at-large, Craig Copetas. Craig, good to see you. Is there anything then in this plan that surprised you or that we didn't know before?
Well, what surprises me is that I would suggest that this only increases the kingdom's dependence on oil, not decrease it. They're looking at floating 5% of a $2.5 trillion company, Aramco. Aramco is the private purse of the House of Saud and an instrument of its theocratic policies domestically and internationally. Now that 5% represents about $125 billion. To list that on the New York Stock Exchange, the Aramco would have to comply with certain transparency agreements and due diligence, both from the NYSE and the US government. And Aramco is the most secretive company in the world. Will they comply? Are they able to comply with those requirements? The second issue here is, will a listing include the division that controls the oil reserves? Now remember, Aramco only manages the oil reserves. It doesn't own them. It's the House of Saud, as far as we know, who owns them. And then the final question is, just how many billion barrels of reserves do the Saudis actually have?
So what reasons are being put forward then for this 5% figure? Why not more?
I would suspect, remember, the Saudis are secretive, so this is all speculation. Everything about Saudi oil is speculative. I suspect that the royal family doesn't want to float anymore because it would open them up to more scrutiny. The Saudi royal family is as transparent as a lump of coal. Whether they can take this 5% to market and comply with transparency laws to float on the New York Stock Exchange remains to be seen. And the Saudis, of course, are really into these mega projects. There's a long history of them, and most of them never go anywhere. So we have to see what the documentation is that the Saudis actually bring to market for possible investors in this 5% to look at. Let's see the paperwork, then we'll talk Saudi Arabia. We might give you our money.
Okay, Craig, thank you very much. Craig Copetas there in Paris.